Welcome to the latest edition of Phil's Corner. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited to be on the set here with two of my favorite people in PEO, Mr. Josh McIntosh, our National Vice President of Sales for Venture HR, and John Prowsekee, who is our Regional Vice President of the Northeast, our new expansion territory. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the set today. We're going to talk through our expansion into New York, which we're really excited about. First, I want to just make mention, we've closed the year strong with several acquisitions, 2 more closing this month. So we'll end 2019 with just under 300,000 worksite employees. Very excited about the growth. But what's more exciting for me as a sales leader and this team is our organic growth. So we're going to focus today on our organic growth market, which is the Northeast. So I want to welcome John Prowsekee to the set. John, can you give us a little background on yourself and why Venture and how this all came to be?
Yeah. So really interesting kind of whirlwind of the past few weeks with, speaking with Josh and talking with you. And I've been in the industry for almost 20 years, right? Started my career in payroll sales and worked my way up into PEO sales. I was with a major PEO that was out of California, but started a big presence in New York, was there for about 6.5 years. Helped them build out the Northeast. I was a VP there for quite some time. And Josh gave me a call recently when he had heard that I'd been thinking about making a move and said, "Is the rumor true?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, well, you're not going anywhere except for with us. So here I am today. And it was kind of like I said, fast and furious, but in a very good way.
Well, great. And I know, Josh, you're relatively familiar with the Northeast market. We've been in that market before together. What are your thoughts on John being here and leading the team in the Northeast, and what's your quick outlook in terms of getting out of the gate, and what do you expect out of the Northeast market?
Yeah, I really expect that with this situation, we don't have to be worried about how we're going to go to market from a consultative perspective, because that's how John's always run his business. He's always built his teams that way. So I just think that the branding that we're going to bring to the New York is going to be something that they're going to feel is different, that they're looking for in the marketplace, that I think we've brought there before with some of the other PEOs that we've taken in New York. I'm super excited to have somebody who I would think has great relationships in the market, has great followership in the industry, and still wants to push to do something special and not just continue to be the same old PEO in a box and big PEO feel, right? Really wanting to be the kind of customizable partner.
Yeah, so look, we talk a lot about that here at Venture, about not being a company that delivers PEO in a box, and I think, John, your culture, your DNA is very much in line with that. So talk to me a little bit about why Venture for you. What does Venture bring that's a matching set from a brand perspective?
So I kept hearing the buzz around Venture in the market, right? I've been, like I said, in this industry for almost 20 years, and I kept hearing little sound bites about Venture being different. Of course, hearing about how you and Josh were different in your approach and your sales process. But I really didn't know until I got to our sales summit in Phoenix. And when I sat there and I got to see some of the other things that are different in what we're doing to go to market, where it's just a different approach, right? It's not that PEO in a box. It's not the typical cadence of, hey, here we are, we're going to save you money on insurance, right? And we're going to give you an administrative service fee for us to process your payroll. It's so much more. So when we look at things like Salvo, right, and the fact that we can even help do recruiting for our clients, and witnessing, some of the other things that we're doing in the marketplace, like cyber insurance for our clients and their employees, just really amazing things that set us apart so much different than what else is out there. The non-traditional, so to speak, approach of, hey, yes, we can provide you with really great Fortune 100 style benefits. We're going to process your payroll. We're going to keep you compliant. But just as well, to complement all of that, we can help you recruit and retain top talent, which, as you know, is super important in New York. So it's a very different approach from my perspective. It's going to make us look and feel different, and the experience is going to be much different as well.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting. So from my lens, having access to the Northeast and specifically New York City market gives me excitement about these products and services that we're going to market with, because I think there we're going to make a big splash, right? The early indicators are Salvo, as an example. We have 2 clients in the Northeast leveraging Salvo, so they're saving $19,000, $20,000, $30,000 per head to have on our nearshore office in Medellin, Colombia. That's a satellite VoIP phone, just pick up the extension, but a direct employee responsible for that client. and an employer-employee relationship, but really suitable for that private equity market, the financial markets up there, people really looking at driving EBITDA and margin, right? So I think we're going to be really excited, and I think we have the right person to be able to deliver that non-centric PEO in a box to that. So what do you think, Josh, in terms of go-to-market strategy with John? What do you think is going to differentiate us in the market?
Yeah, well, first, if I could go back to recruiting services, I know there's a lot of people out there in their career that have been lucky enough to get some value from Walter Sabrin, who's our Senior Vice President of Recruiting, right? So for all of you out there that know, Walter, that's a big win for us. We're excited about that. But he's also heading up that deliverable for our clients. Right, so a full recruiting service for our clients. So it is a definite difference.
That's a great point, by the way. I spent an hour yesterday with Walter, and when you start looking at the unemployment rate being just over 3%, 3.4, 3.2%, it's really difficult right now for people to find talent, right? We happen to have the luxury of having the best sales recruiter in the country on our team, so we're excited about Walter. The other piece, though, I think you bring up a great point, is just for our client experience. Clients are also looking for people, right? So we've taken a two-prong approach to the staffing and the recruiting side of things, which is let's help staff and recruit permanent placement, high-level executive positions as well as entry-level. But where we need non-revenue, non-client-facing positions, we're helping off-site with that offshore with Salvo. And Walter's done a great job of helping clients be able to fill their positions. Internally ourselves, I think John heard at the sales summit this past week, or 2 weeks ago, we had hired 240 internal associates in the last year, and that's not acquisition. So our organic growth and our structure is off the chain. So couldn't do it without Walter. So thank you for bringing that.
But I will tell you, Phil, that the biggest vision I have from our differentiator in the marketplace with our clients is that we truly can grow and scale with them from birth to legacy, right? If they need to start with just regular payroll for whatever reason, we have that ability to help them. If they later on need to add certain insurance services, not necessarily from a PEO, we can do that for them. As they start to need HR, we can move to the ASO type platform. And then obviously if they want to consolidate vendors, they want to leverage economies of scale, they want to reduce the complexities of the business from regulatory compliance, they can go into a full-on PEO relationship. And as they continue to grow from that and scale, if they start to say, it's time to go to a self-funded health insurance program, we're able to allow you to do that and help you go do that, maybe even secure one, right? If you start to get so large that you're thousands of employees and you just don't feel that PEO makes sense anymore for whatever reason, because we do have clients that are thousands of employees here at Venture, you can go ahead and start to scale back down to an ASO or a mid-market payroll. So there's no reason to change your partner, right? There's no reason to change sometimes your vendors that are within the partnership. So I'm really excited to be able to be that long-term partner for businesses and really help them scale and growth.
That's great. And John, that's an interesting segue to you and your leadership role there, because for me, and I think you understand our approach, I couldn't echo even further what Josh said about going in with that diagnostic approach and just really finding out what do the clients need, what do these prospects needs, and is there an opportunity for us? And in most PEO environments, we're always trying to lead the witness, so to speak, because we only have so much product to sell. Yeah. So you're either selling a PEO product where in most of our experiences you have to have master plan benefits, master plan comp, and a lot of the times we know that the client's not 100% fit, but it's all you have to sell. So what's your vision about our approach to the business, and do you see how that can help in terms of flexibility and customization?
It certainly can, because as Josh was speaking, it had me reminiscing a little bit about my past and being with a major PEO in the past. I had one of the premier urgent care facilities that was out of New York that started with us in 200 employees and grew very rapidly within 15, 16 months to over 1,300 and left us. And the reason they left was because we didn't have a solution for them outside of PEO. They said, well, if you had an ASO type model that you could have scaled back, given us the technology, given us the support from a HR, human resources perspective rather, and we could have utilized and leveraged you still with your benefits on the outside. If we hadn't self-funded, we would have stayed with you. Instead, they went to another competitor. So having that approach where it could be customizable, where I know that I can walk into every single prospect, run a diagnostic on them, right? Go through the questions, see what's going on internally and what they want. And then coupled with the fact that I could leverage some of the relationships in New York, because we've spoken about the broker channel is very big there. People love working with people who they know and trust, of course. Those are the most trusted advisors, in my opinion. The brokers, the VCs, right? The private equity firms, the CPAs, the lawyers, and having the ability on an island, so to speak, because Manhattan is an island, right? Where I can be there on a daily basis, network with those folks, work with them, build trust and relationships, coupled with the customizable approach that we're going to have. There's no stopping us. We're going to win every time.
Yeah, we had a conversation earlier about your ability and want and desire to go teach those brokers and what we call channel partners, right? You know, for the folks out there, channel partners historically have always referred business to us in the PEO world because of benefits or work comp, et cetera. You know, I think what you're hearing here is we have a really big opportunity right now to educate the feeder system, the distribution channels, our channel partners on who we are and how we can impact their clients, right? So I think we offer something a little bit different in terms of client relationships and partner relationships in that we don't have to unplug relationships, we can unplug products, right? Yeah. We can maintain, to your point, let's build strong, valuable relationships that are long-term. We don't necessarily need to go so wide with the number of relationships. I think we all agree, let's go deep with the right partners who understand how we can have an impact on their client or our client, you know, vice versa. So talking about distribution, what do you find as, you know, top distribution arms, channel partners, if I may, you know, what's your vision on how we can impact that base?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's I believe over 15,000 licensed health insurance brokers in New York alone, right? And again, to your point, we're not going to be for everyone. Let's really go deep with a few and make sure that we're aligned philosophically.
Yep.
But again, being the fact that they're almost the most trusted advisor, most of the client size have been with them for a long time. That's going to be a big channel for us, right? We have a lot of general agencies up in New York. There's a lot of confusion even still with what's going on in healthcare. So the clients, the businesses, the business owners will still turn to those folks for help and guidance of where they should go and place their business when it comes to insurance and payroll. So I think we're going to heavily leverage that channel. Being that we work in nearly every single vertical, right? We're going to have opportunities with a lot of the venture firms out there that are going to be able to, you know, help, whether it's private equity again, or if it's a VC firm that's looking to really help their clients step up their game to attract and retain top talent, keep them compliant. We're gonna have multiple angles, and where else better than New York City to do that, right? We're not just known for bagels and
so much
pizza,
diversity in New York, not only in people, clientele, but business, industry, work, et cetera, channel partners, so much diversity, and I think we haven't even scratched the surface on the opportunity with the 17 PEOs that are under our umbrella, right? So for the audience out there, just know that New York is a target market for us that I think we're going to do mostly professional services, you know, the financial piece, private equity, et cetera. We do have other family companies that are in our family that write workers' comp for higher risk companies that we can place. And so from a networking perspective, how's it feel to know that, you know, if you have something that you can't write from one of your typical people, that's an agricultural deal or a cannabis deal or a construction deal, that you have a home for them? How's that feel?
It's amazing because I'm not, again, stuck inside a box, right? I remember, I think I just asked Josh a question the other day about a certain industry. I was like, will you even touch this? He's like, absolutely. We have a solution for that. So to know that we're not just subject to a specific set of verticals, and we can go outside in the line, so to speak, or in a different swim lane, so to speak, where we can get creative and outside the box, we're going to become a lot more well-known and a lot more trusted, I believe, very quickly from those partners.
Yep. And so for both of you, you know, what do you think about, Josh, from a verticals perspective? You know, in most of our typical markets with our teams, we tend to slant towards certain verticals based on markets, right? So Denver is an example. It's a big tech center, tech environment. And I know that we like to focus historically on tech, you know, operations. New York, you have a plethora of different industries and verticals. What do you think is the vision in terms of what's the best fit for our ProServe and our launch out there?
Yeah, so New York City, again, great diversity. I want you to know, I'd like to kind of go back as well. One of the things I love about Venture is that we have a Latin American affairs division, right? And we are very passionate about this culture. We're very passionate about the growth of the Latin American business operators, right, over here. And we have built a whole division specifically for that with Rudy Becerra, who has probably got one of the best Rolodexes I've ever seen from Coca-Cola. So love that we're going to bring something different for those folks as well. Also, I think when it comes, again, regionally differences, but New York City, obviously there's a lot of professional services kind of in the boroughs and out in Long Island. There's clearly a lot of tech startup firms coming out of the VCs and PEs out in Manhattan. You get up into the White Plains and upstate New York with, you got a lot of that manufacturing, wholesale, and distribution. So there's such, property management's rapid, all right, around there. So I just see a lot of opportunity with that from the diversity, not just from a culture perspective, again, with the Latin American, but also with all the industries that we can work on. And I mean, you're in New York City, man. It's the Big Apple. It's all right there, right? It's time to just go take a bite out of it and make everyone happy.
And the city, the boroughs, they're all growing. I mean, the change in the city over the last, 10 years has been dynamic, to say the least. But if you look at Brooklyn and you look at Queens, there's so much going on in the boroughs that open up a little bit more. What's your take in terms of the verticals, John?
Well, look, I mean, it's so diverse again. And to your point, everything is becoming, I don't want to say modernized, but it's changed, right? I remember years ago, we couldn't even go into Red Hook, Brooklyn, right down by the Navy Yard over there. Now they're putting up a big tech center there, right? Down by J Street in that area, it's all tech, it's all startups, right? So I don't know how much we're going to see a shift, but certain segments within the market have certain verticals. If you walk into Melville on Route 110, all right, on Long Island, all it is professional service firms, right? Again, I go to J Street in Brooklyn, it's all tech companies. I go down to 7th Ave in Manhattan, it's still fashion companies. So it all depends, right? But again, to your point, we're not just subject to one or two verticals there. We probably have 9, 10, 12 different verticals that we can serve and serve really well. It's just a matter of how we go to market and we target those. And I think, again, through our channels, right, through our brokers, through our CPAs, through our PE and VC firms, they'll help us do that. And we'll identify pretty quickly where we're strongest.
Yeah, and I think to your point, the channel partners, once we educate them on the other things that we can do on the payroll side and ASO side, our quality of conversions, I think will be up. We'll have more opportunity to cast a bigger net. And really, at the end of the day, help clients, help small business clients. That's what we do, right? That's the end game, is that we have a happy, satisfied client. So.
And I was just, talking right to the channel partners that we're really excited to partner with and bring this solution to their clients. Is, again, with the vast difference of PEOs that we have acquired and merged in and learned from some of the best in the industry, we have really built some special terms and options for our channel partners. It's not, again, we keep saying it, but it's not the boxed mentality. This is the only way that you can be compensated. This is the only range that will compensate. There's so many other ways that we have customized for our channel partners to make sure that the client is still getting the best solution and not just the broker's getting the best commission, right? And they can both win and we can win, and that's the partnership, right, with all of us. So really excited to be able to show that, and I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yeah, no, even our approach and how we educate, right? You said I want to go out there and teach, right? Our approach to educate our channel partners is going to be different. We're not just going out there again with the cookie cutter, here's how much you're going to get paid in comp, here's how we do things, here are the X amount of plans and X amount of bands that we have, and this is what we need for an RFP. No, our goal, and we've spoken about this with the channel relationships, is to go and educate, do more training with them, get them to understand how we are different versus just making it a numbers game. We don't want to do that. We're not going to be for everyone. We're not going to be for every single partner either. We want to work with the best of the best. We want to partner with the best of the best to ensure that we're delivering world-class service, top-tier benefits, and a customizable approach to every single one of the clients that we come across.
Right. So I think that's refreshing to me too, is that we get a chance to kind of dump ourselves in the market and educate and refocus the efforts, to me, on PEO, on client first, right? Everything we should be doing is client first, and that's the neat thing for me as a leader, is getting outside of the PEO box and being able to sell a payroll product when we need to, because that's simply all they need, right? So one of the dynamics about the New York City market, at least for me, when we were talking about launching, is partners, right? Who do we need? Who do we want to ride with? Who do we want to partner with? And healthcare was a big one, right? So as a company that has just under 300,000 worksite employees, we have access to scale. But we don't put all of our companies together. So we're losing out on potentially leveraging a lot of that scale in certain markets. But we had a choice in New York, and we chose Empire. Anthem and Empire, great product, great partnership. What are your thoughts on our ability to drive their brand in the New York City market?
Well, I've known for some time that they have wanted to be in this space for a while. And I was excited when I heard the noise a little bit around it, and knowing some of the folks there from my past history. Again, not doing the usual, not doing the norm, right? We have other carriers that have been in the space for quite some time that every single PEO and their sister companies have been using for a while. There's been a lot of disruption in the market with specific carriers up in New York specifically that have created some issues. And here again is the alternative, right? Here we come, outside the box, not the norm, with a carrier like Anthem that I believe is going to disrupt in a major way, in a positive way, versus some of the negativity that's been going on with increases in renewals because books were poorly managed, in my opinion, in the space with certain carriers. So super excited about that. In my very early stage conversations with the broker partners who I've been working with for over 15 years, they're super excited about it. From what I'm seeing with the team that we have internally, that we've hired the best talent that understands how to really correctly underwrite business, even more excited about that. So all around, I mean, talk about a match made in heaven, different carrier than what the market's used to, folks on the inside with us who really know how to manage the book correctly, plans that we see that are out there that are everything from a high-end PPO plan down to a high-deductible EPO plan, right? And everything else in between, where we really give our clients choice and not dictate to them what they need to have. Again, we can't lose.
Yeah. So I think that I'm excited too, man. That partnership, I think that we've chosen in New York City. Anthem is a great team. Empire's done they've done a great job with us. Howard, the whole team has done just a phenomenal job with our launch. So we couldn't ask for a better partner. So publicly, I want to thank the folks at Empire and Anthem for partnering and taking a chance with Venture. And we already know, as we look back on our first 30 days, we already have 400 lives on the book. We're tickled pink and excited about what's about to come in the future in the Northeast. So any further?
A lot of the conversation's always around healthcare, and we certainly understand that's a big topic in all of the United States. But I also love that we have 10 workers' comp carriers, right? And that we have different programs and different funding strategies with these programs. We have different appetites. So we really can customize the right type of workers' comp program for you and your risk and maybe the funding strategy. And it's not just one carrier, and if they don't like it, well, you're out. So again, going back to having options to make sure that we really do customize the solution. So all the way around, pretty excited about our go-to-market strategy with insurance services.
Last question for you, John, just because I want to piggyback off what Josh said. What's near and dear to my heart that kind of keeps me up at night in general in my career is people. Where do we find talent? How do we get talent? We've got the greatest recruiter in the country, so we know that. I assume you've got obviously a very big, long pedigree in this business, in that space. What are your thoughts in terms of talent, growth? What do you envision the Northeast to look like from a scalability perspective?
So I'm getting goosebumps as I think about this right now. And it's funny because you stole my thunder, because I was going to go off topic, and regardless of what he was going to ask me, was to talk about that opportunity. I'm a regular guy who grew up in a poor household. Dad passed away when I was young. Mom taught us how to work really hard, right? We had the conversation about who I admire, who's my hero, and it was my mother, because she did things for her children that were above and beyond what I think most people could have handled. And I bring that up for a reason, because it taught me very early that it's always about the people who you quote unquote serve, right? And one thing I saw here, and it was really cool for me, and you all invited to have my wife come out to the holiday party, which she loved, and she sat there and she looked at me and she said, "Is this for real?" Right? And she's seen my career and what we've had and what we've done. And I said, "Yeah, it is." And she said, "I can't believe it." She said, "You're in such a great spot that people are going to be slamming down the door to kind of come work here, because just from what she sees." So my answer to that is, you guys are making my job easy because of you, right? I didn't know. I knew what I was getting, right, when I talked to Josh and I talked to you, but I really didn't know until we got to meet, and until I got to see the culture and how people at this organization can really be themselves, not walk around afraid, right? They're not motivated by fear, they're motivated by culture. So you guys have taken that part from me and made that really easy. The point is that I'm gonna have my pick of the litter because of that, okay? I already have the phone ringing. We already have the people calling. But I want to be very careful because I don't want to break that culture. I want to create a culture where it's about the people, where everyone gets to have a chance to win, right? If they have the will and the skill to do so. I don't see that that's going to be the least of my issues and worries at the end of the day. It's going to be how many of the good people can I get is going to be the
You're gonna ask me how much money do you have to
Exactly.
spend,
I need
and
the
we can
budget.
go as fast as you want.
I need the budget, and that's it, and we're good.
So Alex Campos, I hope you're listening. But no, so we get the budget, we're ready to go, and quite frankly, that makes me feel really good about the market because what you said about people is they're knocking on the door. When Josh brought you to us and we just started talking with Walter, we just said, man, when we can hire the best talent, life becomes easy. And that's a message to every small business out there, right? Yeah. We have a really big challenge right now with unemployment. So we have to go and extract people from employment to go find the best talent. So we have to be patient. We got to play the right game. Yeah. And one of the things that I think is worth noting to everybody is your notion about let's give everybody a chance to win, right? So the last thing we would do is put 10 people up in the city, split up the turf, right? And have to try to manage 10 different personalities out of the gate. So I love what your approach is. Let's build it with 1, 2, 3 winners first. Let's get everybody greased. Let's grow this thing and have more success over time. Yeah. So pretty excited about that. So any last comments before we?
Yeah, I just want to give one additional thing. We have a CRO here that really takes it seriously when we come back and tell them there's a gap in the marketplace and we need a deliverable to solve for a problem, right? And he will run out and tirelessly evaluate multiple vendors, really look into it, and then quickly turn around and say, I have it for you, and put it in place. So, we've got a great CRO that finds great solutions to problems for us and listens to the sales team, and it's really the best ideas win.
That's right. We got a great relationship with Prism HR, who works with Brad tirelessly at setting these products up and making sure that we not only say we have a product, that we can actually, present the product, price the product, build the product, collect the product, and deliver service on it, right? Yeah. And I think that's the big piece. But I think that says a lot about our ability to be nimble and flexible and quick to market, right, in terms of that. So, well, thank you guys for joining me on the set today. Welcome to the organization. Can't wait to see New York flourish. Thank you for everything you do for me, the organization, and for John. Thank you all for tuning in this week. We appreciate it. You can find us obviously at venture.com. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Phil's Corner. Thank you and be great.